This week, hair theft.
It took me 7 years to grow my hair. 7 years of taking care of it, looking after it, and then you get somebody come one day and he cuts your hair.
But it's not just any hair, it's thick, long dreadlocks, a highly sought-after commodity in South Africa.
Most of our things bahlala becomplain ngoba bathi basaba bona uhambe town ngoba bathathela ama-treatment ezikanjalo yabo.
It is the same way as raping you. I am sorry to say it this way, but to me, that's what he did. He violated me.
This is Checkpoint, and I'm Ngepile Mabuse. It's called cut and run, one of the most bizarre crimes to resurface in South Africa. In 2013, reports of people's dreadlocks being forcibly cut off their heads appeared rare and unique. The phenomenon also seemed confined to downtown Johannesburg. Today, cut and run has spread countrywide. It's also become more dangerous. Some victims told their stories to Checkpoint producer Ntokozo Mia, who has been growing her locks for 7 years and lives with the daily reality of having to cover her head when venturing into areas notorious for cut and run. Ashley Market was behind the camera.
Joburgers are known to be creative and adventurous, and that's often reflected in their hair. In recent years, there's been a noticeable shift away from straightened and synthetic hair, a return to natural hair.
The previous perception has always been that natural hair is untidy, you understand, and we have to a certain extent also conformed to natural hair is untidy, and we felt the need to tidy up ourselves. But now people are becoming more comfortable with wearing their hair as it is. People are becoming more comfortable with even raising their children with natural hair.
Kutatso Leswana had noticed this change, as well as the influence by local celebrities. Together with 4 of her friends, she launched the first Johannesburg Natural Hair Expo in May.
People are really open and experimental to their hair, and that's exciting. People are using their hair as a form of expression, and we also wanted to, really empower women to be proud to wear their hair, so just like we're proud to wear our hair.
But on the streets of Johannesburg, those with dreadlocks are scared of wearing their hair too proudly. They fear becoming a victim of what's known as cut and run. Thieves forcibly cutting off people's dreadlocks. Sandra Agodi is an avid student of African culture and literature and says growing her dreadlocks was a calling.
Dreadlocks is so spiritual. Dreadlocks is when you own your blackness. It is when you have accepted who you are. You sweat into it. First you emancipate your brain, and then you do it with your hair and your other body, So you walk with that pride because I am who I am. It took me 7 years to grow my hair. 7 years of taking care of it, looking after it. It is a lot of work. Firstly, you gotta wash it. I wash mine every week, not second week, every week. I wash it and then I would twist it while I watch television. So I use rosemary oil, I use coconut oil with a little bit of olive oil, and I would put it on my scalp. That costs money. That costs a lot of money.
Sandra was shocked when she first heard about cut and run.
A friend of mine went to Durban and they cut her hair, and I saw the trauma that it led to her. She was crying and she felt violated. There's a lot of trauma when you see people with knives. Obviously you think they're coming for your bag, and then they grab your head. What do you think? You don't think they want your hair, you think he's going to slit your throat.
Though sympathetic to cut and run victims, she wasn't particularly worried about her own dreads.
I also thought, who's going to steal my dreads, They don't steal dreads until it happened to me.
But as Sandra's hair grew longer, the more she attracted attention.
I go to Maponya Mall and the guy would literally follow me. Sissy, I can give you 2,000 rand for your dreads. I used to go to town in Carlton Center, but I had to wear a scarf and tie my hair up.
Over the years, Sandra's hair became more of a challenge to manage, so shortly before a holiday to the beach, she decided to have it tied up.
So I thought, seeing that I'm going to the holiday, on holiday let me go to the dreadlock guy and let him use the crochet, which was beautiful though, because it didn't suit loose when I swim. So I told him to just tie it in the middle, but he made a nice style though.
But as she sat having her hair done, she didn't notice the stylist was actually cutting off several of her dreadlocks. And because her hair was tied up for the holidays, she only realized when she undid it 2 weeks later.
A chunk of my hair was out. I mean, really, you know your hair, it is you feel it. And suddenly, it doesn't feel the same weight, it doesn't have, you know that somebody has cut your hair. I went back to the salon, I confronted him, and he flatly denied. I showed him, I loosened my hair. I said, there's no hair. He says, no, I didn't. So I don't know. One of his colleagues told me, okay, Mama, I can see the hair is gone. But I wasn't here, so I can't say he cut it. It is the same way as raping you. I am sorry to say it this way, but to me, that's what he did. He violated me. Before this happened to me, I also thought, nah, who's gonna steal my dreads, you know? They don't steal dreads until it happened to me.
She's not sure yet whether she wants to grow her dreads longer.
Even to grow my hair again now, I'm skeptical. I am afraid, because it's not just my bag they're gonna grab, it's my hair. How can you go to town when you gotta watch your hair, you gotta watch your bag, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Mapaseka Matlaleti is a chef and lives in Sebokeng in southern Gauteng. She'd always worn her hair naturally, but began growing dreadlocks 5 years ago. She was proud of her hair, but cautious when she traveled to the city.
So
Mapaseka recently had an appointment in nearby Vereniging and wore her hair down.
I'm put out Kinana quick Kariki 5 years. Bekim Jutor, Kivatana Lidi office, the lawyer. So I get him the Kivatana office, so I get all. So heights ibina, Abara Ekatib, Kita Wies, Kota Malabtunana, Handle, refit up and home, building eo, Repalama steps, Sarfita steps more, Kermus ho quite more, how Navatu.
Mapaseka suddenly realized she was in trouble.
So come, o swere thipe ke tsaba go hanga etsa wa nna supile e kore a beile monampeng ke nana gore ha ke tlo hoeletsa a ka tlo nhlaba ka yona o itse ke thole ka re mpe ke thole a ke merere ke tsamaya ke ya taxing straight ka ska tlhotse ke batlane le office eo ke kena taxing go batho ne ba botsa go tsala ke a ke ba jwetsa ba bang taxing a ke kena go ne ba tsheya. Makeup, but miriri hai handle.
Mapaseka considered reporting it to the police, but decided not to.
It like I go bula case. Ilo ba joke. As much like in trailer, but when kill night as a joke.
There isn't a specific charge for hair theft, and police generally consider it assault. But a case is difficult to pursue as victims aren't usually injured. It is impossible to attach a standard value on natural hair, and as such, courts cannot prosecute culprits without an exact value for the stolen item. Despite her ordeal, Mapaseka says she will grow her dreadlocks again.
Kapa ke rwale e seng go ke itlwelle fela cause I we tloletse fe ke yona mo leng simple go ba nke.
When we return.
That was ngawathenga ngaboma 250 nje. 250 300 then mase ngithengisa nje ngithengisela ngoma 600. Then lady ngalithenga ngoma 5 takes ngoma 800 900.